Alrighty then, guys, welcome back to the Cryptoverse with me, your host, Chris Coney. I think I need to be extra chill today because the crypto markets have been going crazy over the weekends, so let's keep it on a level, shall we? I didn't find any real meaty topic to get into today, so I've decided to do a mop-up of lots of little news stories which wouldn't have found a home anywhere else, really. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Starting with this, Michael Turpin wins one of his court cases. So this was reported by Reuters. So when I first read this headline that says US investor awarded $75 million in cryptocurrency crime case, and it was relating to Michael Turpin, I thought he had won his case against AT&T, which he filed, for them allowing his phone number to be ported to a different SIM card without his permission, which subsequently led to hackers getting access to his crypto assets. Turns out this news story, it relates to that theft, but this judgment, it relates to one of the members of the hacking group who carried out the theft having a judgment against him. So basically it says here that the, what's the fella's name? Nicholas Truglia, who's, was arrested for this theft, apparently, blah, blah, blah. So Michael Turpin has won $75.8 million in a civil judgment against this 21-year-old man who was supposedly one of the leaders of this hacking group. Now, I actually used this Michael Turpin case as an example in my Blockchain Security Essentials course as the type of thing that can happen if you rely on things like SMS authentication. So if you haven't taken this course already, please do so. Link is down in the old description. Regarding this story, though, I don't know where the AT&T case is. Where is it at? If you have any information on that, please post it in the YouTube comments, or you can just mention me on Twitter. It's at Chris Coney INT, which stands for Chris Coney International. On to the next story. Carter Thomas is back. So if you, it's been like 7 months since his last video, and he showed up in my subscriber feed here. So if you go to his YouTube channel, which is Coin Mastery TV, you'll see it's been 7 months since he last posted a video, and I was surprised to see out of the blue today, checking my YouTube subscriber feed, and boom, new video from Carter Thomas 11 hours ago. Now, in the intro for this new video, which he calls Bitcoin Yields Inflation and Hitting 30,000, episode 227, he does promise to give more detail as to where he's been over the last 7 months, but I have yet to get to that point in the video. As you can see, I'm about like a quarter of the way through watching it. In any case, nice to have him back because more content gives us more fishing rods in the water, and then we can bring more new fish into the cryptocurrency space. So welcome back, Carter Thomas. Next story. Consensus 2019 starts today. This is Consensus is hosted by Coindesk.com. It has become the single biggest crypto event of the year in terms of the number of people that attend, how big the event space is, and how much this is talked about. In fact, typically, if you've been in crypto long enough, you'll know that we have this thing called the consensus rally when the Bitcoin price tends to run up the week prior to consensus. The only exception to that was actually last year. I don't think it really happened last year, which was the exception. But this year, yep, there we go. Consensus rally is back once again. So they're expecting like 10,000 people to show up, and the ticket costs something like $2,500, which might sound like they're making an absolute fortune, but when you consider that it's hosted at like the New York Hilton Midtown, well, the cost to put on an event like this is likely astronomical. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. They normally do a live stream as well, so they do that during the event. I remember Naomi Brockwell was sort of the MC last year, I think she was. So keep an eye on Coindesk.com, and they may publish the free live stream again this year. Now, speaking of consensus, news stories like this are starting to appear. eBay is rumored to start accepting crypto payments. And the basis for this is a supposedly leaked photo from Consensus. And for those of you listening to the podcast, what I'm showing here is this Twitter user, I'm not the wolf, at I'm not the wolf. And this Twitter user posted this supposedly it's a photo that was leaked from Consensus where it's on the side of an escalator and it's a big banner. It has the eBay logo on it. And then it says next to it, virtual currency. It's happening on eBay. What that means, we have no idea. So let's wait and see. Consensus is starting today, the 13th of May. So if this is true, people should start walking around the venue and seeing this. And no doubt, if eBay are sponsoring the event, they've probably got a physical presence in the exhibitor space. So let's see what they've got to say for themselves. I imagine they've got a speaking slot as well. So not too long to find out what on earth they're talking about here. Next story, coming from investinblockchain.com. TRON is no longer decentralized, co-founder admits and leaves the project. Well, what does that mean? What does he mean it's no longer decentralized? Well, this fellow, what's his name? The former CEO, Lucien Chen, made this remark in saying that TRON is no longer decentralized. So his view basically is focused on the fact that out of the 100 billion TRON tokens, only 8 billion of them are voting, leading to a small group of people being able to elect the supernodes and control the network that way. Now, being an EOS fanboy, the next thing that I did was looked up the stats on the EOS network. Given that TRON and EOS use the same delegated proof of stake consensus framework, where you have, they call them supernodes, I think, in TRON, and they call them block producers in EOS. I went straight over to eosflare.io and found out that in the EOS network, 29.15% of tokens are voting compared to TRON's 8%. So 100 billion TRON tokens, 8 billion are voting. That's 8%, right? But EOS Fledge works it out for you. The number of EOS tokens that are voting, they don't put commas in the number, but it's 294 million out of the 900 billion circulating supply of EOS. So 294 million EOS tokens are voting out of the 900 million in supply. So I just wanted to do that for comparison's sake. So this Chen fellow, he said that he and the co-founder of TRON, Justin Sun, which you probably already know about, he says they were not able to reconcile their differences in terms of like the development direction for TRON. So Chen has left the project to, quote, start a new TRON, which he's calling Volume Network. And he intends to fix all of the problems that he has identified with the way TRON has now become structured. So let's look out for Volume Network and see if this fellow can do that. Moving on to the next story, Monero is now supported on the Exodus wallet. Oh my goodness, how lucky are we? So exodus.io/Monero. If you've never tried the Exodus desktop wallet before, I highly recommend you at least have a play with it. I think you will thank me for it. It's just a really nicely designed multi-currency wallet that I think is so easy to use, anyone can use it. And now it supports Monero at long last. So bottom line, this makes Monero much more accessible. So thanks to the Exodus guys for doing that for us. Next story, Binance Exchange is to resume deposits and withdrawals Tuesday. That's tomorrow, the 14th of May. So Changpeng Zhao, the old CZ, the CEO of Binance, he said that they needed 1 week to complete this security audit, which I had pegged as Tuesday. As soon as he said it, I was like, right, when's that going to be? It's next Tuesday. Put it in my calendar. Looks like that's going to happen on schedule. Now, this is exciting to me because I've been working on something pretty exciting. And it relies on Binance, so as soon as they're back online, I can finally launch it. It was just a bit of a pain that I was working on this thing, which Binance is a crucial component of. And then there was like, oh dear, security issue, I'm going to have to close deposits and withdrawals, which meant I had to delay the launch of this thing until they got it back online. Now, I'm not going to reveal it just yet, because I want to make sure that Binance is back open for business before I launch it. Otherwise, it's not going to work. But keep an eye out for this announcement from me. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Finally, an update on the Bitcoin price. Here we go. So it never ceases to amaze me how people will hear what they want to hear, no matter what I actually say. First of all, if you look on my YouTube channel, the last video I put out on Friday, the title was Why I'm Thinking About Shorting Bitcoin Right Now. Secondly, so the title said why I'm thinking about shorting Bitcoin. That's point one. Point two is I gave in that video the precise criteria for entering the trade, right? And now it's on record. I can't change the video. So it was the criteria, if you go back and watch it, was when Bitcoin breaks this exponential curve that I drew and showed in the video. Guess what that means? Well, I haven't entered the short yet, right? Because after I published the video showing the exponential curve, Bitcoin continued to climb. So it means it didn't break the exponential curve, right? Didn't break the exponential curve. That means I haven't entered the short trade yet because the entry criteria has not been satisfied. But the opportunity is still on the table. So I'm still stalking this trade. So unless the entry requirements are satisfied, I'm not putting any risk on the table, right? Anyway, so here's something else to draw on your chart if you don't already have it. I find this kind of interesting. On TradingView, if you bring up XBT, which is a BitMEX chart where Bitcoin trade against the US dollar, if you get it on the daily chart, zoom right out so you can see the that all-time high and then the recent low in December. Then you get yourself a Fibonacci retracement tool, turn on magnet mode so it snaps to specific prices. Then take the all-time high, the top of the all-time high candle, and then take the low of the December 15th candle, whatever it is. Just zoom in and make sure you've got the absolute top and the absolute bottom. So I'm just zooming in here, and sometimes it snaps to the wrong candle, so that has happened for me. So I just unlock it, snap it to the all-time high, and then do the same with the low, just to make, I like a bit of accuracy, you know. So I'll just scroll all the way to the 15th of December. Which one's lower? 15th of December is the lowest one. And then I'll lock that. Okay, so that's it plotted. Now, once you've done that, now go to the current price. In fact, let's go to the triple screen so we can see the hourly. Now, just draw that on there for me, right? And what you should get is a 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level falling right on a price of $7,055, right? That's all I'm going to say. Leave that indicator there and just watch how the price interacts with that 23.6% Fibonacci retracement level over the next few days. This is going to be a key point that I'm watching out for in terms of plotting my short trade. Already, something has changed on the hourly chart. So instead of consistently setting higher highs and higher lows, what we have begun to do now is set lower swing highs. That's happened twice. Now it's forming somewhat of a little triangle here if I draw it on the chart, because you said it's setting lower highs, but it's also setting higher lows. So this is going to resolve sooner or later. So just on the hourly chart, you can join up the highs and the lows, and you'll see what I've just drawn on the chart there if you're listening to this on the podcast. The main point, though, was to draw that Fibonacci retracement line and keep your eye on 7,055. Alrighty then, that is pretty much all I've got for you today. So please like the video if you liked it. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done that. Hit the bell as well, would you? Please support the show. Head over to the cryptoverse.show. You can click on support the show if you want to get rid of all the ads on the video and the podcast, get access to the private chat group, and get cryptocurrency rewards. That's a pretty good package of value right there. Alternatively, you can check out my online school where I've got courses on how to trade cryptocurrency and a whole bunch of other things besides. If you go to thecryptoverse.show and click on the green button, online courses, then that will take you over to the online school. Other than that, that is all I've got for you today. So I'll be back with the next episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.